Manchester City, champion of the Super Cup on penalties. Guardiola, Manchester City coach, added another European Super Cup to his record. Underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore underscore un. Manchester City won the first European Super Cup in its history by winning the penalty shootout, 5-4, against Sevilla, who missed the last maximum penalty when Serbian Nemanja Gudulj crashed the ball into the crossbar. After the final it ended with a tie at 1. Sevilla, in a good game in which they showed their faces and a good image against the current Champions League champion, reached the break with a 0-1 draw with a great goal from Moroccan Youssef En-Nesyri, after a magnificent cross from the Argentine Marcos Acuna, although Pep Guardiola's team neutralized him by equalizing with a header from Palmer to the center of the Spanish Rodri. A final shot to the crossbar from the Serbian Nemanja Gudulj. After the clash finished 1-1 and Manchester City had made a full 5 hits in their penalty shootout, gave the English team their first Super Cup title of Europe, to which they also agreed for the first time, and with this they prolonged the curse of Sevilla in this match, which they have played 7 times and only won the first time. Pep Guardiola's team, which reached the Super Cup by also winning the Champions League for the first time, this time was effective in this type of shot, which did not benefit recently against Arsenal in the English Super Cup, while Sevilla had no fortune that other times benefited him after a game in which he fought a lot but in which he had to surrender to the greatest resources of the adversary. The game had important connotations in both teams, since City were missing, in addition to 2 who are no longer there this season, İlkay Gundogan and Riyad Mahrez, as the first went to Barcelona and the second to Saudi Arabia. 3 other starters with Pep Guardiola, like the Portuguese defender Ruben Dias, and in the midfield the also Portuguese Bernardo Silva and the Belgian Kevin De Bruyne, all with physical losses. It did have another of its franchise players, the Spanish international Rodrigo Hernandez, and the centre-forward currently considered the best in the world, the Norwegian Erling Haaland, to which he added 2 of the reinforcements this summer, the Croatians Joško Gvardiol and Mateo Kovacic. In the case of Sevilla, the previous ones, in addition to the last-minute illness of the Portuguese midfielder Fernando Regis, were conditioned by the comments of the possible departures this August of players such as the Moroccan goalkeeper Yassine Bono or the Argentine left-back Marcos Acuna, although José Luis Mendilibar said the day before that this would not influence anything for this game and the 2 were starters. The Basque coach said that they wanted to be brave and play for a long time in the Manchester City field, and he did so at the start, and his was the first approach, although the reply was not long in coming with a shot from the Dutchman Nathan Ake and the response from Bond. Tactical match with 2 teams that wanted to see the rivals' provisions, but in which it was also seen that the resources of the citizen formation could wake up at any moment, but that moment was for the people from Seville after 25 minutes in a quick start with a cross from Acuna's left and a spectacular header from Moroccan Youssef En-Nesyri. 0-1 and waiting for the English reaction, but what came a few minutes later was a shot with a lot of intention from the Argentine Eric Lamela that was deflected, a sign that Sevilla was there and that Bate and Gudulj were fighting with Haaland. Without him the Norwegian will receive free balls. But the wear and tear of Mendilibar's men was great, and the patience of Guardiola's men as well, like their resources from set pieces, which was very noticeable at the dawn of the first half, with an Andalusian team that asked the referee to whistle the break and that he did it after 3 minutes of extension that seemed eternal even without City having 2 clear chances. It was expected that the beginning of the second part would be a continuation of the closing of the first, and it was with a City that played a lot and made Sevilla back down, but the physical ways to close gaps and the risks of those from Manchester with their advanced lines could be translated after 5 minutes in the 0-2, although now, the magnificent counter-attack by Lucas Ocampos was not taken advantage of by En-Nesyri with his foot alone against the Brazilian goalkeeper Ederson. The Spanish formation on the counter forgave a lot to open a gap and did not take advantage of the gaps left by the English in her desire to return the tie to the score, and then the one who did not fail was City, with a spectacular cross from Rodri to the second well-defined stick by Cole Palmer with the head. The hour of play had passed and a new game began in which Sevilla once again forgave an enemy series boots and City redoubled their push against an opponent who was beginning to notice the tremendous effort, and that translated into a monologue with an absolute dominance of Guardiola's men, possessors of the ball at all times, and with the goal it seemed that it was a matter of time. But time ran out and the game went to penalty kicks, a novelty imposed by UEFA, which abolished the possibility of extension in the event of a tie for this edition of the Super Cup, and that this premiere suited him better. To City, whose players did not miss and benefited from Goodall J's mistake on his last shot.